Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. And this week, we are wasting not in Modern. So let's talk about our Rakdos Waste Not Liliana's Crest discard deck. Jump into some games, see it in action. Alright, so here is our Rakdos Waste Not discard deck, and our two key cards, Waste Not, Liliana's Crest, give us a reward when we make our opponent discard. So Waste Not, definitely the best of the bunch, either giving us a zombie, mana, or cards depending on what our opponent discards. Liliana's Crest isn't as good at generating value as Waste Not, but it does deal a bunch of damage. It's kind of our finisher in the late game. We can stack up a couple, make our opponent discard some cards, kind of burn them out of the game really weirdly. Otherwise, we got a ton of stuff that makes our opponent discard. Kroxa makes our opponent discard, and that gives us a nice finisher once our opponent's empty-handed. We can escape it, kill our opponent really quick. Collective Defiance, Cold Against Command, removal spells that can also make our opponent discard. Then we just have a bunch of targeted discard. Inquisition, Thoughtseize lets us pick the best card from our opponent's hand. Raven Crime, repeatable thanks to Retrace mechanic. Then we have maybe our two most important discard spells, Burning Inquiry, Gaia Reach, Sanitarium. So the problem with our other discard spells is once our opponent's out of cards, they don't do anything. Like Thought Seizing our opponent once they're empty-handed, doesn't do anything at all, doesn't trigger Waste Not or Liliana's Crest. Well, Burning Inquiry, Gaia Reach, Sanitarium force our opponent to draw and then discard. So once our opponent's empty-handed, these are just free ways to trigger our important game-ending enchantments, sometimes multiple times in a turn. Like Burning Inquiry with Liliana's Crest out, it's a 1 mana 6 damage burn spell, which is actually really powerful. Then we have our combo finish in Underworld Breach. And the idea of Underworld Breach is in the late game or the mid game, we get up to like 5 or 6 mana. Hopefully have a Caress, maybe a Waste Not. We can Underworld Breach and just keep casting Burning Inquiry from our graveyard enough times that we burn our opponent out of the game, generate a ton of Waste Not value. Otherwise, we got some removal. We got Mishra's Bauble to go along with Lurrus as our companion. Mana base, a bunch of dual lands. We already talked about Gaia Reach, Sanitarium. In the sideboard, a bunch of removals, some sweepers, some targeted hate cards, and that is Rakdos Waste Not discard for Modern. That's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So let's jump into some games, see if the plan can actually work. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the discarding, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. Need some new Modern Horizons cards? Well, you can pre-order them from our sponsor Card Kingdom by heading over to cardkingdom.com. Alright, Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are wasting not in Modern, some Rakdos Waste Not action. Not really Waste Not Storm per se, but do we keep this? No Waste Not. We do have a bit of discard. Who knows what happens if we cast Burning Inquiry? I think we mulligan. I think we would. Well, alright. This hand has a lot of lands, but it does have a Waste Not. Alright, well, we'll try. We'll try it, see what happens. Opponent, Fiery Islet, and Delver of Secrets. This might go poorly. Opponent, Player Borg, and Thought Sees You. Reforge the Soul. Well, we're okay with Reforge the Soul. If our opponent would like to Reforge the Soul, we are thrilled. Once we get this Waste Not down, which will hopefully be happening next turn. Delver, please. Oh my god, it does flip with an Ancestral Vision. Alright. Suspense Ancestral Vision. Well, we will see. Opponent hits us. We're gonna have to draw removal for this Delver. If we do, there is hope. If we don't, more lands. Well, play this on red. Play Waste Not. Pass the turn. Opponent. We know they have 6 points of burn in hand too, which is not great for us. Opponent's deck is weird. Opponent. Not another. Okay, Lava Spikes attacks us. Well, give us a way to kill this Insectile Aberration. Or, oh, there we go. Alright, so, play a Swamp. Kroxa. Make you discard. I assume this is the Reforge the Soul, yeah. So we get to draw a card. We draw a Bauble. Well, play the Bauble. Fatal Push Delver. Okay. I mean, worst case, we can start Gaia Reaching, just to generate triggers. We know there's still a Bolt in hand. Opponent ticks down. Let's crack Bauble. Idle onto the Great Rebel, that's fine. Opponent can't actually cast that yet. Opponent passes. Well, we get to draw an extra card. How long until this comes down? 2 turns. Well, I think what we do is play Waste Not number 2. Play Mishra's Bauble. Blood Crypt tapped. Pass the turn. Boy, we are close. We are close. Opponent's going to bolt us down to 6. Take down Ancestral, which probably will kill us. Well, there's a land. So we know our opponent's drawing the land. That means Eidolon's coming. Opponent, land untapped. Here comes the Eidolon. Yeah, well, gonna have to have a good turn. Opponent passes. We get to draw an extra card. Well, let's Fatal Push the Eidolon. Go to 4. We know there's a remand in hand. The problem is our opponent's drawing 3. Well, let's Gaia Reach. Loot. Discard. Bloodstained Mire. We're trying to not go to 4, because if we go to 4, we lose. Or go to 3, because if we go to 3, then we just lose to a single bolt. Well, Inquisition you. Take the bolt. Draw 2. Ooh, so many lands. Well, pass the turn. I mean, bad news is our opponent gets to draw a lot of cards here. And, burn spells have potential to kill us. We do have 2 Waste Knots going. We're so low on life. And our opponent's playing a really weird burn deck, but it is a deck with a lot of burn nonetheless. So opponent gets to refuel. I mean, if we weren't so close to being dead, we'd be fine with this, because that gives our opponent more cards to discard. Opponent, Spire Bluff. On the other hand, our opponent has not drawn many lands, so maybe they just draw some lands. Lava Spike. Opponent passes. Well, let's Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Discard Bloodstained Mire. Opponent discards a land. We get a bunch of mana. Waste Knot. Kroxa. Probably going to get remanded. Yeah. Well, play the land, pass the turn. We gotta fade burn spells. That is the problem, that our opponent just has so many lightning bolts. Opponent cracks the land to draw a card. Looking for a lightning bolt effect. We can deal with a creature. We just can't deal with an actual lightning bolt to the face. Or a lava spike. Opponent passing. That's interesting. Well, 1/2. Kroxa. Make you discard. Opponent, wow. They did not cast the remand. Interesting. If they're slow rolling a lightning bolt, I'm going to be a little sad. Wow, we drawn a lot of lands. Play the swamp. Play Liliana's Caress. Sure. Alright, so opponent, yeah, I mean, I guess you got us, opponent. Alright, so opponent's just playing Ultra Jank. Well, that's fine. Interesting. So we will bring in Collective Brutality, Kozilek's Return. We will go down a Thoughtseize, and a Collective Defiance. Run it like that. Well, that's something I've never seen happen before. Which, I mean, that is the upside of playing, you see it on Against the Odds on a regular basis. There is some value to playing less good cards that no one else plays, just because it's basically impossible to play around them. Like, there's no way you can sit down to a game of Modern and be like, okay, my opponent's probably trying to Rune Flare Trap. So yeah, I mean, the value of playing Jank, I guess. That might be one of the least likely things I have ever seen happen. Opponent going deep in the sideboard. So opponent essentially is like, is it burn? But they decided to play a lot less good burn cards and a lot more bad cards, which is interesting. Interesting decisions. Well, Blood Crypt tapped. Mishra's Bauble go. Opponent. Well, we will Mishra's Bauble, take a peek. Opponent's drawing Lava Spike. Alright, so that's an actual burn spell that does things. Opponent, Steam Vents. Untapped. Delver of Secrets. Well, we get to draw an extra card. Play a Swamp. Inquisition you. Take a Delver of Secrets. Fatal Push the Delver of Secrets. Well, now our opponent has a bunch of Lava Spikes, but not a whole lot else. Arid Mesa. Cracks it. Snow-covered mountain, and opponent plays a Soul Guide Lantern. Sure. Yeah. And suspends Ancestral Vision. So our opponent's hand is Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt. I think we just Play Urborg, play Liliana's Caress. Pass the turn. This is going to make it a little painful for our opponent to be discarding, and probably make it impossible for them to reforge the soul if they draw it. Opponent draws a Goblin Guide. Well, I mean, that is a good draw for our opponent. Here they go. Cast him. Get him out of the hand. Opponent gets in, hits us. Top card is another land. Well, another land is not what we were hoping for, but opponent passes. Kozilek's Return. Well, let's just play Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. Opponent takes down Ancestral, goes to combat, attacks. Top card is a Fatal Push. Well, we will Kozilek's Return, kill the Goblin Guide. Opponent, Lava Spikes. Well, crack this. Get a Blood Crypt tapped. Untap. Ooh. I'll play Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Kroxa. Make you discard. Alright, Rune Flare trap down. Not as good at 6 mana. And then we will just snag Lurrus, I think, and wait on the Burning Inquiry. This is probably going to force our opponent to crack the Soul Guide Lantern. And then next turn we can Lurrus Kroxa. Alright, opponent just casts a bolt. We can Lurrus Kroxa and Burning Inquiry. Opponent taking down Ancestral. I mean, the good news is we're still at 8. Bad news is we haven't found Waste Knot, but opponent land. Out of cards. Well, I don't think this is quite lethal, but it's close. So we untap. We will play Lurrus. Alright, opponent catches in the Soul Guide Lantern. That's fine. Because now we get to Castle Lockwayne, Burning Inquiry, 6 damage, and hopefully getting something in the graveyard we can cast. Well, alright, nothing in the graveyard we can cast, but opponent discards a bunch of cards. I'll pass the turn. So opponent gets to refuel. Let's see how good their refueling is. Opponent cracks Arid Mesa down to 8. Steam Vents tapped. So they do get to draw 3. Their Ancestral Vision finally came down. See if it's enough. Opponent Ancestral. Well, they need to hit something pretty good, and they've used a lot of burn spells already. Opponent. Tap land. Passes. Well, we will Raven's Crime you. Discard the land. Okay. I'm just nervous because I have no idea what's in our opponent's deck. Opponent's going to repeal the Liliana's Caress. I guess that's fine. Opponent discards. We play Liliana's Caress. Collective Brutality. Duress Mode. Take Vision Skines. Hit ya. Get in with Lurrus. Gain back some life. I mean, if our opponent wants to let us each draw 2 cards, I'm pretty okay with that. Opponent's mass draw is very awkward against our deck, since our opponent having cards in hand is actually good for us, but our opponent might have a choice. Yeah, opponent, oh boy. Alright, that's a Burning Inquiry. Well, opponent, you better do something good. Even if they kill the Lurrus, I think they're just dead here. Goblin Guide, sure. Combat, no attacks. Well, we will Inquisition you. Take the repeal. Hit our opponent. And then I guess we can just Gaia Reach. That also gets it done. Discard a Waste Knot. Well, okay. Liliana's Caress outburning the very strange burn deck. Okay. So strange. So weird. Well, I mean, I guess we run it back. Opponent's deck has just got a lot of weirdness going on. Oh, boot it. Alright, we'll reveal Lurrus. Well, we got a Waste Knot. That is acceptable. We do not have a way to just kill a 1-drop, which is awkward, but... Alright, Lava Spike. At least it's not a 1-drop. Opponent passing. Underworld Breach. Well, play Mishra's Bauble. Target ourselves. Urborg. Yeah, we don't really want that. So, Bloodstained Mire. Pass the turn. Crack this. Grab a... let's just grab a Swamp. I don't know. They could have Blood Moon. That does not seem impossible. More lands. Opponent. Spire Bluff Canal. And passing. I guess lands are good with the Raven's Crime. Well, play Pathway on red. And Liliana's Caress. Remand Part 1. Oh, booted. Islet. And there's a Goblin Guide. Okay. And a Lava Spike. Well, opponent's going for it. Attacks. Top card. Liliana's Caress. Not super helpful here. Well, I mean, opponent's off to a fast start. It seems like play draw might be a pretty meaningful thing in this matchup. Opponent. Soul Guide Lantern. Exiles a Bauble. Well, we shall see. We are going to have to hit removal at some point. Oh my goodness. Alright, Graven Carrots. Play a Waste Not. Raven's Cry Mew. Add some mana. Liliana's Caress. Pass the turn. Oh, we could really use a Burning Inquiry. We could really use a Burning Inquiry. About it. Gonna go to combat. Gonna hit us down to 9. We get to see what's on top of our deck. It's a land. Land's not the worst either, because we can use it with Raven's Crime, or maybe force our opponent to Soul Guide. Opponent passes. Well, Raven's Crime you. Discard a land. Opponent repeals the Waste Not. Discards a Lightning Bolt. Well, we will Croxa. Get rid of our opponent's last card. Another Lightning Bolt. Blood Crypt tapped. Pass the turn. The problem is our hand doesn't do anything. Opponent draws for their turn. It is a Delver. Oh boy. Alright. Goblin Guide goes attacking. Land off the top. Not helpful. Opponent passes. Burning Inquiry is helpful. Play a Swamp. Waste Not. Well, we'll see. Things are going to happen. What that will mean is up for debate. Waste Not. Oh, so this is 12, but not lethal. Let's Waste Not, Waste Not. Burning Inquiry. We get? We draw, zombie, zombie. Hit our opponent, hit our opponent, hit our opponent. Okay, that was good. Mishra's Bauble. I mean, we might be good. Our opponent's going to need something very special, I think, because we should be able to win next turn. Opponent draws a card. Opponent's going to need to flip the Delver with a Lightning Bolt and draw another Lightning Bolt, something along those lines. Delver flips with Ancestral. That's fine. Ancestral's too slow to matter. That does mean the Delver gets to hit us. Opponent goes attacking. We drop to 4. Wow, this is so close. Suspends Ancestral. Exiles the graveyard. Well, we will Bauble. See what our opponent's drawing. I think we're good, though, because of Gaia Reach. Opponent has an Eidolon on top. We draw a card. So, Liliana's Caress. Gaia Reach. Draw discard. Discard a land. Opponent. Damping Sphere. Okay. Draw a card. Drain you. Down to 4. Attack with the zombies. Opponent blocks, goes to 2. And then, while it would be funny to try to make our opponent discard, if they have a land, we lose. Our turn with the bolt? Well, opponent's on a really unique build of Delver. But not enough to overcome the lightning bolts. We got them. I mean, once we get things set up with Liliana's Crest to Waste Not, our deck can be really powerful. Like, the clock becomes really, really quick. Opponent got us good in game 1 with that Fruit Flare Trap of all things. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. That was super sweet. All right, Much Abrew about nothing time. We are Wasting Not. Ooh. And also Caressing the Waste in Modern. And this hand's fine, actually. See what our opponent's doing. Shambling Vent. I mean, so we don't have a Waste Not yet, but we get to Thoughtseize on turn 1, lose a bunch of life, hooray, into Caress, into Burning Inquiry, and just see what happens. Opponent. Oh, it's a Siege Rhino. So I think that what we do is take a Stone Fort. That's a Siege Rhino. We're getting Siege Rhinoed. Now I don't even know if I want to win. If I'm going to lose, losing to Siege Rhino is how I want to go. That is just some good, clean, fair magic. I mean, I guess I'm also hoping we Burning Inquiry it, but opponent, Stoneforge, Mystic. Getting a Batterskull, I assume. The bad news is I think we do have to kill this Stoneforge. Come on, Dowsing Dagger. Alright, sort of Fire and Ice, sure. Yeah, I think we have to Fatal Push, kill the Stoneforge, play Bloodstained Mire, and hope really hard that we make our opponent discard the Siege Rhino, because if they resolve that and put a sword on it, we are going to... Ooh, tap land. Alright, that's better. Well, spin it to win it. We will see what happens. Bloodstained Mire, crack it. Blood Crypt tapped. Untap. Yeah, let's just Urborg. Liliana's Caress. And discard Siege Rhinos, please? Please. We wouldn't mind discarding some lands. I'm really worried about the Siege Rhino. Oh, they draw Assassin's Trophy? Alright, well, this is fine, I guess. We're not gonna hit our opponent for damage, but our hand should improve. Ugh. Alright, we did not get the Rhino. Do they have an untapped land? I mean, we did find a Waste Knot, which is good. Alright, they found the untapped land, so here comes Rhino. Gonna be interesting. Opponent cracks. Gets a Temple Garden untapped. Here comes Rhino 1. Alright, let's clock. Down to 12. Well, let's see what value we can get out of this Waste Knot. Gyre Sanitarium. Well, we will play Waste Knot. We will Burning Inquiry. Draw a card. Make some mana. Make a zombie. We did get rid of the other sword, which I guess is good. Well, play Gyre Sanitarium. Loot. Discard. Castle Lockwing, I guess. The opponent discards a land, gives us mana. Well, 2 damage, discard a card. Still don't actually have a way to beat a Siege Rhino. We draw a card. Raven's Crime. Well, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Oh, watch us spin him into another Rhino. Goif. That's a big ol' something. Opponent going to hit us. Yeah, sure. Down to 8. Not great. Scavenging Ooze. Also not great. Alright. What ways can we get out of this? Are there ways? Well, let's Raven's Crime. Get rid of our opponent's last card. We draw a card. Well, Burning Inquiry is one of the cards that is actually helpful. Burning Inquiry. Mana, card. Ugh. But they don't do anything. So opponent has artifact, instant, creature, land. Well, Marsh Flats. Crack it. Blood Crypt down to 5. Get back Kroxa. Definitely get rid of the enchantment. And then I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess we just get lands. Well, get back Kroxa. Hit ya. Shrink the Goif a bit. I'll pass the turn. Hope our opponent doesn't top deck. Opponent. Well, I guess we should have got rid of the other Kroxa probably. That might have been a bit of a mistake. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. They have so many creatures in their graveyard. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem. Our opponent has artifacts and a bunch of creatures and a bunch of instants and a sorcery. So it's not like we can really shrink the Goif any more than what we did. We are dead to many things, including a green source or a removal spell. What we need to do is be able to kill something with Kroxa, chump something with a zombie, and go to 1. Opponent. Tags with everything. Well, we will kill the Ooze, chump the Goif, go to 1. Wonder if our opponent should have shambled. I guess they have to worry about us having like a fatal push, but alright. Eats Kroxa, eats Stoneforge. Stuff dies. We go to 1. Opponent had a tap land. Well, we untap. How can we get out of this? Well, 1, 2, 3. I guess we gotta wheel ourselves to try to hit an answer because we're dying and our discard doesn't do anything at the moment. Well, Sanitarium. And I think this means we're dead. Yeah, discard. Yep. Well, the Rhino got us. Could not answer the Rhino. Unfortunately, our opponent had that Assassin's Trophy too. But yeah, that Rhino, brutal. Well, we'll bring an Angrass Rampage. Go down a... The Lightning Bolts don't feel that good. Go down a Lightning Bolt, Bring in a Bontu's Last Reckoning, run it like that. Alright, on to game 2. Can we avoid the Rhinosity? Oh boy. You know what? We're keeping this. And we're spinning, and we'll see. We will see what happens. Could be good, could be bad. You never know. You never know with Burning Inquiry. You really don't. Well, let's do Mire Crack it. Blood Crypt, tapped. Actually, do we just thought Inquisition first, or do we just go full on? You know what? Let's Inquisition first. Inquisition you. Take the Goif. Opponent has Toski and Force of Vigor. Plays a tap land. Well, it's going to be hard to mana screw our opponent. Opponent passes. Well, Gyre Sanitarium. Liliana's Caress. Go. If they have to pitch the Toski to kill Caress, that's still kind of a win. Opponent. Marsh Flats. And passes. You know what? Let's spin it. Inquiry. See what happens. If you want to pitch Tosking to Force of Vigor, we will accept that outcome. Wow, they did. I wasn't thinking they would actually do that, but we're kind of okay with that. Well, let's see what happens with Burning Inquiry. Opponent cracks. Opponent has mostly lands in hand. Well, spin it to win it. Mishra's Bauble. We discarded Waste Not that we kind of wanted. Yeah, let's stop on our opponent's upkeep and take a look. Well, Bauble you. At least we got rid of a Stoneforge. Oh, that's a Rhino on top. Not good. Not good at all. You know, we know that's coming. I think our opponent still has a bunch of lands in hand, though. They did not discard Shambling Wind or Peatland. Opponent cracks. Lingering Souls. Oh, boy. Wow, this is the fair beatdown. Land, please? All right, there's a land. Wow, this still doesn't work. Oh, you know what? I think we gotta spin it to win it. We did not manage to get rid of the Siege Rhino. Path and multiple. Oh, jeez! We just can't get rid of the Siege Rhino. Our Burning Inquiry's removals plan is just not working. Oh, there's the land, there's the Rhino, there's our brutal death. Well, we definitely got outfared. This deck about it. Here it comes. Well, if we're gonna get brutalized, at least it's to a super fair Siege Rhino. Opponent hits us. Mana base a little. I mean, Gaia Reach is necessary and great, but a little bit clunky, keeping us from doing all the things we. You know what? All right. Oh, we still can't. Oh, this mana. We're playing Graven Catch. We still can't do it. Oh my goodness, this is the worst. This doesn't have black or red. We have to make black or red to add black or red. So we're always going to have this colorless mana. So we can't Caress plus something. Wow, this is the worst. Well, Burning Inquiry. Yeah. Got us. Well, good to see Siege Rhino shining again. Yikes. All right. Much Abrew about nothing time. We are wasting not in Modern. Some Rakdos Discard. Well, we'll keep this. We have Liliana's Crest instead of Waste Not, which it is a pretty big downgrade. But play a Swamp and Inquisition you. Opponent is Embercling. Interesting. Well, we will take the Remand. Play Mishra's Bauble. Pass the turn. Opponent. Yeah, let's see what they're drawing. Lightning Bolt. Well, so we know they have Emeralds if they can get to enough mana and find through the breach. Well, Blood Crypt untapped. Liliana's Caress. Play a Bauble. And pass the turn. Opponent cracks. And ops. To the top. Well, crack the Bauble. Maybe we should be waiting to use it on ourselves with the fetch land. Opponent's drawing a Remand. Sulfur falls. Passes. Well, we get to draw 2. Raven's Crime's not the worst. Play Marsh Flats. Raven's Crime you. Opponent discards an Emrakul. Takes 2. Well, crack Marsh Flats. Get a Swamp. Croxa. Here comes the Remand. Yeah, so opponent remands, draws a card. Well, we pass the turn. Opponent. Ops. Would be nice to find a Thought Seize. Like, the main problem is if they get to through the breach Emrakul, we just lose. Well, play a Mountain. Play a Croxa. Opponent. Discards a Bolt. Well, we will play a Croxa. Opponent. Discards a land. It drops to 10. All right. We might be making our opponent discard enough that they can't kill us. Okay, plays a land. Opponent passes. Let's see what we draw. Well, Raven's Cry Mew. Discard Urborg. Opponent remands. Well, Raven's Cry Mew. Opponent discards a land. Well, Raven's Cry Mew. So this means our opponent can't kill us next turn, basically. They only get to keep 1 card in hand. So they can't have land Emrakul through the breach. They need multiple pieces to be able to win. All right, discards the Emrakul, drops to 6. Yeah. Well, opponent needs several things to happen before they die, and they're pretty close to dying. This Liliana's Crest is actually working this game. Opponent Sleight of Hands. And Ops. To the top. And a land. Well, yeah, let's, Raven's Crime. This plays around Remand. Wow, they found the breach, too. All right. So opponent's got the mana, but they have 0 cards in hand. So they still need to find Emrakul and through the breach to have a shot at winning. And this Croxa, if it comes down, could just win the game. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command. Okay, let's pass the turn. I think we're going to try to kill our opponent with this Kolaghan's Command. If they loot here, okay, they're going to Snapcaster Opt. Yeah, opponent. Ops. Well, we're going for it. To the bottom. Well, Kolaghan's Command. Discard 2 damage. So opponent needs an instant of some kind. Okay. Whew! Alright, that worked. That worked. We did not have the Waste Knot, and it still worked. We were still able to just kind of get all of the cards out of the Through the Breach Emrakul player's hand there. I don't know if we really changed much. I guess maybe Kolaghan's Command. Nile's Spellbomb? They do have some graveyard stuff, I guess. Cleansing Wildfire, no. Rampage, no. I mean, I guess Brutality just picks apart their hand. These Fatal Pushes don't seem super helpful. Maybe we just run it like that. Bring in 2 Brutalities, 1 Kolaghan's Command. We still have ways to kill Snapcaster if that matters. And we have more ways to make sure we don't get breached. Well, that's kind of how we're hoping this matchup goes, honestly. It would be even more spectacular if we had Waste Knot, but it still worked. Well, we got Liliana's Caresses for days. I mean, we'll keep. We can do the little fetch land trick with our Mishra's Bauble, which is kind of sweet. For some reason, we're really good at drawing Liliana's Caresses, and not nearly as good at drawing Waste Knots, even though we have the same number of them. Opponent, tap land, and passes. Well, play Bauble. Crack it to look at our top card. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we don't really want Lightning Bolt. Bloodstained Margo. Actually, wait, hang on. Yeah, now we gotta crack this. We don't want to draw the Bolt. Get a... Do we have to take a Swamp? Blood Moon is a thing, but then we don't have red mana. We're gonna take a Blood Crypt for now. There is some risk that we end up getting locked. Inquisition's not bad. Loot House for our opponent, and... Ooh, Young Pyromancer. I guess that's fine. We can Castle Lockwayne, 2-mode Brutality, Duress you, kill Pyromancer, discard a Collective Defiance, take a... What do we take here? Let's take the Remand. And next turn we can Liliana's Caress plus start making our opponent discard. Seems fine. Oh, opponent. Sleight of Hand, presumably digging for lands. Wow, whiffing on lands. Okay. Well, Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Play a Liliana's Caress. Inquisition you. Take the Opt. Wow. Our opponent's hand is full of the biggest, baddest things in their deck. They just don't have the mana, or anywhere near the mana. Alright, draws a land. Well, we will play Liliana's Caress. And Thoughtseize you. Take the... I guess Through the Breach. Burn ya. Wow, maybe we're underestimating how good Liliana's Caress can be. It's working this game. This Burning Inquiry is 12 damage if it resolves. Opponent passes. Well, play a Kroxa. Oh, opponent might be dead. Opponent might be dead. Discards Emrakul, shuffles in. Well, okay, if Burning Inquiry resolves, our opponent's dead. Land and Burning Inquiry. All right. That is Liliana's Caress going off, and that felt really good. Could not find the Waste Knots, but Liliana's Caress was just enough. We just burned them out. All right. We will accept it. Sweet. All right. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are... I'm just going to change the deck name, I think. This is Liliana's Caress deck. I was calling it Waste Knot, but since we always draw Caress and never draw Waste Knot, I think we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna switch it up and go with Liliana's Caress Tribal. Kolaghan's Command's not bad. Well, let's do the Bauble trick. So the good trick to know if you play Modern, and it's not like super in-depth, but if you got a Bauble and you got a fetch land and you got another land option, Bauble yourself and decide if you want the card on top of your deck. Like if it's a land, Raven's Crime. I don't think we want Raven's Crime. Let's Bloodstained Mire crack it. Then you can make your decision if you want the top card or if you want to shuffle it away. So it's a way that you can turn your Mishra's Bauble into like kind of a scry 1 plus draw a card essentially if you have a fetch land. Well, Raven's Crime might have been better than another land. Opponent. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Well, if we knew we were up against Infect, we would not have kept this hand in a million years. Against Infect, we need discard, and much of it. Well, Inquisition you. Well, I guess we take Scale Up, because that's the card that makes us literally die. And then, you know what? We're going to spin it to win it. Boom. Opponent's hand's pretty scary. Maybe we can make it less scary? Maybe we can draw Removal. Ooh! Maybe we can draw a lot of Underworld Breaches. Also possible. Well, we got rid of a mutagenic growth. Could still just be dead here. And this Kolaghan's Command is not going to kill Blighted Agent, especially through Blossoming Defense, yeah. Well, did we spin our opponent into the win? Blossoming Defense, mutagenic growth. Oh my god. Oh, we spun him into it! Oh my goodness. Yo, it's that Burning Inquiry. It is a harsh mistress. Sometimes, it mana skewers your opponent and you win. Sometimes it kills ya. And in that case, our opponent's hand was pretty good either way, I guess. Go down Collective Defiance, I think. Maybe go down one Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach has not felt all that impressive. We want all of our removal. Let's go down one Caress. Let's try it like that. I mean, turn 1 Thoughtseize or Inquisition is what we really want against Infect. Alright. How about turn 1 and turn 2 Inquisition and a Lightning Bolt? Easiest way to deal with Infect for the most part is try to keep their creatures off the battlefield. Well, Inquisition you. Well, take a Noble Hierarch. This is fine. So opponent can play a Noble Hierarch, but then we can bolt the Hierarch and Inquisition. And then we still need to find payoffs at some point, but yeah, Noble Hierarch. Bloodstained Mire, crack it for 8 Mountain. Inquisition first. Take oh, Inkmoth. Inkmoth is obnoxious. Well, I mean, we're still gonna kill it. Ooh, alright, more removal. Become Immense Inkmoth is a thing that could get us eventually if we don't draw something. There's the Tattooey Inkmoth. That is the flaw with the discard plan, is you can't really make your opponent discard lands. Well, Blood Crypt untapped. We're just gonna take Lurrus, I guess. This is a somewhat sketchy spot to be in. Opponent, Wooded Foothills. Cracks it. Breeding Pool. Untapped. Well, so we're taking, what, 7 Infect? Yeah, there's to Become Immense. Oh, this means we gotta draw removal this turn. Thoughtseize. Well, Thoughtseize you. Oh, jeez. That's so awkward. Oh, both got all lands. Well, Lurrus. Oh, we're so dead. So we're dead right now to any pump spell, and we're dead in 2 turns to Inkmoth Pendelhaven. Huh. Well, there's a Pendelhaven. Fires up the Inkmoth. Opponent. Yeah, this feels like a tricky matchup. Okay, we're super dead. Yeah, that was not even a little close. Awkward. Huh. Well, on one hand, I guess our deck can be a little clunky in the matchup. On the other hand, our discard should be good. But as we saw that game, Inkmoth is a good answer to discard, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is just a tough matchup. Well, alright. Sweet. Alright, Much Brew About Nothing time. We are wasting not. We're so good at drawing. We're so good at drawing Liliana's Caress. Kind of insane how often we've been drawing Liliana's Caresses and how infrequently we've been drawing Waste Not, but sometimes Liliana's Caress is good enough. Yeah, let's Marsh Flats, crack it. Blood Crypt, untapped, and Raven's Crime you. Start the discard. Booted. With our opponent being on the mulligan, making them discard probably goes up in value a bit. Stubborn Denial. Alright. So, some sort of Death Shadow deck, probably. Booted. Untaps. Polluted Delta. And cracks it. Watery Grave. Untap down to 17. Bobble. And Thoughtseize. Takes a Liliana's Caress. Cracks the Bobble. Alright, opponent passes. Well, we will play Castle Lockwayne, run out a Liliana's Caress. Pass the turn. Opponent Cycle Street Wraith. Well, we shall see. Polluted Delta. Opponent cracks. No Lurrus. Blood Crypt. Untap down to 10. Well, hopefully they just have one Death Shadow and don't have another Thoughtseize. If they can Thoughtseize our Fatal Push, Death Shadow's going to kill us real quick if they have it. Well, it wasn't Thoughtseize. So score, I guess. Wow, they take Raven's Crime? Interesting. Oh, they must have Angler. Alright. Now that also kills us pretty quick and doesn't die to Fatal Push. Yeah, opponent. You're a Mega Angler. Not a bad turn, too. Well, play Bobble. Play a land. Get Lurrus. Pass the turn. Take a peek. Alright, opponent's throwing a land. Yeah, we don't have very many good ways of killing a Gurmag Angler. Opponent hits us. down to 12. So we need to make our opponent discard 5 cards somehow. That might be tough. Oh, Waste Not. Huh. How do we do this? Well, let's Waste Not. Oh, no. That's unfortunate that that's our opponent's last card. All right, so Waste Not gets countered. We Inquisition. It's just, oh, no. Oh, that is the absolute worst way this could go. All right, well, now we are likely dead. Opponent. Ops. If only we had gotten the Waste Not down first. I don't know how we've been so bad at just drawing Waste Not. Or it's been very strange. Maybe we're going to have to change the deck name to Liliana's Caress. Well, I think this is just, I mean, we Luris and we have to chump block. I mean, I guess we won't straight up scoop, but I think they got this one. Luris, Bobble, Crack It, Blood Crypt tapped, pass the turn. Yeah, the problem is we just don't actually have a way to kill a Gurmag Angler. We got removal, but Gurmag Angler is very resilient to our removal. Opponent, Thought Scours, mills a couple cards, and goes to combat. Attacks. Well, we block the Snapcaster. Alright, how can we possibly win? We have to, like, chain Burning Inquiry into Burning Inquiry. I think that is our one pseudo out. Burning Inquiry? No. Alright. Well, Gurmag Angler, that's a big old zombie fish. I don't know if we can change much. I think we just have to, I mean, I guess we can bring in a Rampage. I guess Lightning Bolt is going to be meh. All right, let's go 1 Spell Bomb, 1 Rampage. Try it like that. All right, let's draw Waste Not. Let's draw Waste Not and play it on turn 2 and have it not get stubborn denied. Yeah, I feel like what this deck could use to be really good would be just more Waste Nots. Caress is fine, is like a weird, somewhat inconsistent finisher, but it is not a Waste Not. Alright, well, we will keep. No Waste Not, but we do have a bunch of discards. So play Mishra's Bobble. Crack It, take a peek. Graven Karens, do not want that. So land, crack, shuffle, swamp, and Inquisition you. Take a Death Shadow. Well, so opponent just has a hand of 1-mana spells, essentially. We draw a card. Kroxa. Polluted Delta for our opponent. Cracks it. Watery Grave. And Inquisition. I mean, we'd make our opponent discard a bunch. Burning Inquiry doesn't do a whole lot until we find Waste Not or Liliana's Caress. Just by itself, it's kind of meh. Alright, opponent takes Kroxa and passes. Payoff, please. Inquisition. Well, we will Inquisition you. Take your Thought Scour. Blood Crypt, untapped. Raven's Cry Mew. Opponent discards, I'm sure, Thoughtseize. Well, this isn't actually very good for us. Yeah, Thoughtseize down. Trying to mulligan to find Waste Not or Caress makes sense a lot of the time, but I don't think we can do it against Death Shadow because they just have so many 1-mana answers that just absolutely ruin that line. Opponent, Thoughtseize, takes Raven's Cry. I'll play the Pathway on red. Actually, let's snag our Luris, I guess. We don't know of another Thoughtseize, so yeah, take Luris. Pass the turn. Opponent, Thought Scours. I guess we're a land away from getting back Kroxa. Oh, they have the Gurmag Angler? Yeah. Opponent passes. Well, we will 1, 2, 3. Luris. Get back Bobble. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Crag the Bobble. Take a peek. Alright, well, red mana is a color that our opponent might need. Untap land. Wow, it's unfortunate now, isn't it? Alright, so opponent did really need that red mana. Well, we got 2 draws to find a land for Kroxa. Alright, Pathway on, I guess black is fine. Kroxa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exile some cards. No way. Okay, opponent just runs out Snapcaster. That's fine. I thought it was a remand. Remand would have maybe beat us there. But in this case, we get down Kroxa. We hit our opponent to 8. And we have a creature that's big enough to stop this Gurmag Angler, which is pretty huge. Opponent finds a Bobble of their own. Boy, if we can find Liliana's Crest or Waste Not, we just probably just win with these 2 Burning Inquiries. Opponent passing. Draws a card. Well, go to combat. Attack ya. Opponent discards Thoughtseize. Blocks and blocks. Oh, do we just Burning Inquiry? It does fill the graveyard. Yeah, I think we do. So play this, crack this, get a mountain, burning inquiry. Ooh, well, all right. In that case, Kroxa first. Still not a waste knot, but we did spin into an opponent, scoops it up. Still not a waste knot, but we did find the crest. So we get back Kroxa. Even if our opponent deals with it and draws like Fatal Push, we can crest burning inquiry. That didn't go too badly. I'll run it back. That seems like the setup. Waste knot. Give us a waste knot. I just want to do sweet things with waste knot, but we have not found many ways to draw them. Well, we will take a Lurus. All right. Well, we got a Caress, like usual. But that's probably good in this matchup, because you know our opponent's going to have discard, so if we had waste knot, it's probably going to disappear. Street Wraith for our opponent. Polluted Delta. Cracks Polluted Delta. Wandering Grave, untap down to 15, and Inquisition. Alright, opponent takes Ingress Rampage. I'll play the Mountain, play a Nile Spellbomb. Go. Spellbomb can theoretically keep our opponent from Gurmag Angling. Opponent, another Thoughtseize. Sure. Oh, if they have Death Shadow, it's kinda awkward. Takes the Breach. Ooh, the problem is, let's play Urborg. I think we're gonna wipe our opponents. Well, all right, let's play Liliana's Caress. If our opponent has Stubborn Denial, that's fine. This does mean we don't really. Ooh, they let it go. All right. This does mean we'd rather not Nile Spellbomb because we'd really like to draw a card off of it. But 1, 2, 3. What if they have Gurmag Angler? Yeah, all right, whatever. Opponent Island. Well, now we would really like to resolve this and find like Burning Inquiry. That would be pretty huge. Opponent's passing. Well, we untap. Play Bloodstained Mire. Play Waste Knot. Come on. If we can get them both down. All right. Well, now I think we wait. And we crack Nile Spellbomb. And we're going to crack it upkeep. All right, we're finally drawing our Waste Knots. That is many Waste Knots. Opponent passing. Cracking it upkeep to make sure we don't get Gurmag Anglered. We draw land. Well, play the land. Play a Waste Knot. Raven's Crime You. All right, discards an Angler. We get zombies for days. Opponent takes 2. Well, Raven's Crime You. Draw some cards, please. That is the power of Waste Knot. Like, on the battlefield, it's so absurd in our deck. And now we're in a position where if we ever draw a Burning Inquiry and resolve it, we should just straight up win. Opponent, Blood Crypt. Untap down to 8. Interesting. Are they going to counter this? I mean, I guess if our opponent spends a counter on a Raven's Crime, we're kind of okay with that. Wow. All right. Well, that's a lot of zombies. Your go. Opponent, Death Shadow, and passes. Well, Thoughtseize you. I mean, opponent, yeah, they need removal to stay alive. Ooh, all right, take the Kolaghan's Command, draw some cards, and our opponent's still dead. Well, let's just finish him the fun way. Burning Inquiry. And that is the kill against Death Shadow and Gurmag Angler. That is the dream. Okay, well, when we actually stick our cards, they're pretty spectacular. That was a surprisingly effective win. Well, Waste Knot. Sweet. So what do we learn this week about Rakdos Waste Knot Discard? And we finished 3-2 with the deck, which not a bad record overall. We got absolutely crushed by Infect, but otherwise the deck felt pretty good. So I will say, the biggest problem with the deck is the problem that faces all Waste Knot decks, which is there's only 4 Waste Knots, and Waste Knot is so insane in a deck like this. It is a card you want most. Like the games where we have Waste Knot on turn 2, they're so sweet, and they go so well. Liliana's Caress, my opinion on it changed throughout our matches. At first I was like, ugh, it's not very good. We'd like play it, and it wouldn't really do anything. But then in some of our later matches, we got to see its power as a finisher, essentially, where we play like 2 of them, and then we Burning Inquiry and just like burn our opponent out of the game. So while it isn't fair to think of it as a backup Waste Knot, because the power of Waste Knot is you cast your Waste Knot, then you cast Discard, and then it draws you cards, which finds you more Discard, and you can kind of snowball that. You can't really snowball Liliana's Caress. You're basically waiting to the late game. Kroxa is a legitimate backup finisher, and Kroxa is really good in the deck to the point where maybe we want the 4th Kroxa. Like, it's Discard early, and then once we empty our opponent's hand, it kills our opponent really quickly, and that's what our our deck wants, because one of the other weaknesses of the deck is once we get our opponent empty-handed, we really need Burning Inquiries, we need Gaia Reach Sanitariums, but a lot of our discard doesn't do anything once our opponent's out of cards, and that means our namesake enchantments don't do anything. So Crocs is a really nice way to punish our opponent for being empty-handed and close out the game. So I really like the deck. It's really fun. It felt pretty competitive. It's definitely a fair Waste Not deck, unlike the Waste Not Storm deck we played a couple of years ago, where you're just all in on comboing off. This is more of like a grindy, fair build. The only advice I have for the deck is, if you have a Burning Inquiry, try to hold on to it. Burning Inquiry is so important in the late game. Once we get on our Waste Nots and Liliana's Caresses, that it's usually not worth casting in the early game, outside of special circumstances. Like, there was a game where we had to cast it to get 5 cards in our graveyard for Crocs, so that's fine, or maybe we get an early Waste Not, then it's fine. But really, try to hold on to your Burning Inquiries to use them as finishers in conjunction with Liliana's Caress. We never pull off the Underworld Breach combo. It's only a 2 in the deck, so not seeing it across 5 games isn't that weird, but it does seem like it would be a sweet way to finish off the late game. So I like the deck. The deck is sweet. If you like making your opponent's discard and benefiting from discard and burning your opponent out with Liliana's Caress of all things, it's a reasonably effective option, I think, for Modern, although a little bit matchup dependent. Against aggro, opponents get empty-handed really quickly, and then our discard starts doing nothing earlier in the game. But in general, it's a really sweet deck. So that's Rakdos Waste Not Discard, or maybe Rakdos Liliana's Caress Discard, based on what we drew during our matches. That's been our Much Abrew for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.